Okay, sir. Yes.
Pledge of Allegiance, Alderman Woolridge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next invocation, Mr. Primo.
Lord, please watch over and protect our city. Give us the strength that we need here tonight to make the right decisions. Amen.
Thank you. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Jeff Cavell.
Here.
Brad Cole.
Here.
Clint Crater.
Here.
Lyle Fogelman.
Here.
Vernon Martin. Stephen Primo.
Here.
Sammy Reggie.
Here.
Kim Stringfellow.
Here.
Byron Wildridge.
Here.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to read something to you from Mr. Reagan. Mr. Reagan asked me to read this. Ladies and gentlemen, I regret that I cannot be present tonight due to contracting a viral bronchitis. It has been my privilege and honor to serve with you in the city during the past 4 years as city attorney. I hope my endeavors have contributed to be the best interest of the city and service to the citizens. My best regards to all of you during this holiday season and for a happy new year. Sincerely, Tom Reagan. We hope you get well soon. All right, we'll temporarily suspend the meeting and we'll now open public hearing. Public hearing for the purpose of a proposed ordinance number 1534, an ordinance to amend and reenact section 7-30 of Article 2 of Chapter 7 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Crowley, Acadia Parish, Louisiana, to provide for the curfew of minors under the age of 18. Definitions relative thereto, hours of curfew for minors, curfew for children of compulsory school age, and children suspended or expelled from school. Parental responsibility, duties of business owners and operators, exceptions, presumptions, violation thereof, to provide penalties therefore, to repeal all ordinances or parts of ordinances contrary thereto or in conflict therewith, to provide for the provisions hereof to be severable, and to provide for all matters relative thereto. I'd ask for a motion, please.
So moved.
Offered by Mr. Core. Second. Well, I apologize. Let me go back. I apologize. I need proponents. First call for proponents. Second call for proponents. Third call. Now move to opponents. First call. Second call for opponent. Third call for opponents. Public hearing is now closed. If you look at your packet of your agenda, I apologize, I was trying to rush through that too fast. On number 11, we're going to move number 11 into the next, and we will now reopen our council meeting. I'm going to move 11. 11 is the ordinances. An ordinance to amend and reenact section 7-30 of Article 2 of Chapter 7 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Crowley, Acadia Parish, Louisiana, to provide for curfew of minors under the age of 18. Definitions relative thereto, hours of curfew for minors, curfew for children of compulsory school age, and children suspended or expelled from school. parental responsibility, duties of business owners and operators, exceptions, presumption of violation. Therefore, to provide penalties, therefore, to repeal all ordinances or parts of ordinances contrary thereto, or in conflict therewith, to provide for the provisions hereof to be severable, and to provide for all matters relative thereto. Now, would I ask for a motion?
So moved.
Offered by Mr. Core, seconded by Mr. Crater. Discussion. Now I need to call a roll call vote, please.
Jeff Cavell,
Yes.
Brad Core,
Yes.
Clint Crater. Yes. Lyle Fogelman,
Yes.
Stephen Primo,
Yes.
Sammy Reggie,
Yes.
Kim Stringfellow,
Yes.
Byron Wilrich.
Yes.
Thank you. It does pass with one absent. All right. No appearances. No any agenda amendments. Approval of the minutes of the regular council meeting held on November 9th, 2022.
So moved.
Offered by Mr. Fogelman,
Second.
seconded by Ms. Stringfellow. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right, we move on to the mayor's report. Looks like we are very close to being on track, which we should be at 2499. We're at 2523, 2208. Looks good. Next is our sales tax. Sales tax is looking pretty good. We are above on the average of previous months. Our sewer user fee is above as well on the 2 months, and this one is a little bit below. And we do not have the budget analysis because you didn't have those numbers in time, correct? Okay, thank you. All right, standing committee reports, Public Works Committee, Mr. Kramer.
Thank you, Mayor. The Public Works Committee was postponed until a quorum was present. The committee convened Wednesday, December 7th, 2022 at 4 p.m. in the council chambers. A quorum was present. Under action items, a motion was offered by Alderman Vernon Martin and seconded by myself to approve partial payment estimate number 12 to Glenn Leger Construction LLC for the citywide street improvements contract 8 project in the amount of $675,662.48. The motion carried and I so move.
Offered by Mr. Crater,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Fogelman. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Thank you. One nay.
A motion was offered by myself and seconded by Alderman Lyle Fogelman to approve partial payment estimate number 7 to Glenn Leger Construction LLC contract for the citywide street improvements contract B project in the amount of $447,233.81. That motion carried and I so move.
Offered by Mr. Crater, seconded by Mr. Woodward. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
One nay. Thank you.
A motion was offered by myself and seconded by Alderman Vernon Martin to adopt a resolution authorizing the preparation of specifications and the letting of bids for March 2023 through August 2023 materials purchases. That motion carried and I so move.
Second.
Offered by Mr. Crater, seconded by Mr. Primo. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Under non-action items, the Public Works Director, Mr. Albert John, was not present to deliver the monthly Public Works report. Street Commissioner, Mr. Gilbert Ozing, presented his monthly report. The Public Works Committee recessed and reopened due to City Engineer Tim Mader being late. The City Engineer Tim Mader presented the monthly engineer's report. Alderman Vernon Morton voiced concerns over the repairs being done on the intersection of 9th Street and Avenue B. Mr. Chris Hoosier is asked about the construction contracts and when they will be complete. Mrs. Sandra Marks voiced concerns over the repairs done at the intersection of Second Street and Avenue K. There was no further business to come before the Public Works Committee, and the committee recessed.
Thank you, sir. Next is utility. Mr. Vernon is not here. I believe it would be Mr. Reggie.
Yes. Utility Committee convened Wednesday, December 7th, 2022 at 4 p.m. in the council chambers. A quorum was present. Under action items, the motion was offered by Alderman Vernon Martin and seconded by Alderman Clint Crater to approve partial payment estimate number 6 to NCMC LLC for the rehabilitation of sewer system collection system project for the amount of $29,176.09. Motion carried, and I so move.
Second. Offered by Mr. Reggie, seconded by Mr. Cavell. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Under non-action items, the Utility Committee recessed and reopened due to City Engineer Tim Mader being late. Wastewater Superintendent Tim Crater was not present to give his monthly wastewater report. City Engineer Tim Mader presented the monthly engineer's report. There was no further business to come before Utility Committee, and the committee recessed.
Thank you, sir. Next is Recreation Committee, Mr. Primo.
Thank you, Mayor. Recreation Committee meeting convened on Wednesday, December 7th, 2022 at 4 p.m. in the council chambers. A quorum was present. There were no action items. Under non-action items, Recreation Director Peter Kirsch presented the monthly Recreation Department report. City Engineer Tim Mader presented the monthly engineer's report. There was no further business to come before the Recreation Committee, and the Recreation Committee recessed.
Thank you, Mr. Primo. Next is Zoning and Annexation, Mr. Bowman.
Thank you, Mayor. On Wednesday, December the 7th, at 4 p.m. in council chamber, Zoning and Annexation Committee convened. There was a quorum. Under action items, a motion was made by myself and seconded by Alderman-at-Large Stephen Primo to approve the conditional use to occupancy for a tax service at 1219 South Avenue H, Crowley, zoned R3, Acadia Parish, upon favorable recommendation of the Crowley Planning Commission. The motion carried, and I so move.
Second.
Offered by Mr. Fogman, seconded by Mr. Primo. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
A motion was offered by myself and seconded by Alderman Vernon Martin to approve the conditional use application for broader occupants located at Lot 5A, C3 zone, and in Acadia Parish upon favorable recommendation of the Crowley Planning Commission. The motion carried, and I so move.
Second. Offered by Mr. Fogman and seconded by Mr. Cavell. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Under non-action items, City Engineer Tim Mader presented his monthly engineer's report. There was no further business to come before Zoning and Annexation, so the committee recessed.
Thank you. Next, we have Public Safety. I have a gentleman who filled out a card, a speaker card of Mr. Alawi Matana. Is that correct? Okay. Please state your name and your address, please.
My name is Alawi. I represent Club Boys. Address 324 West 2nd Street, Louisiana. To the Mayor of the City of Crowley and the City Council members, thank you for the opportunity to let me speak for you today. My name is Alawi Tanna. I'm the nephew of Hussein Alawi, who owns Club Boys. I understand your concern over the ladder in the parking lot for our store. We want you to know that we're concerned too. I would think Councilman was taking his time and come to the store and talk to the men who run the store and turn them from laddering. In order to address the situation, we have put up signs saying no laddering enforced by Crowley Police Department. We have also made an arrangement with Captain Withers to hire security for Fridays and Saturdays from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And we have also spoken with Captain Malik for a written authorization with the police officers to come to Crowley, to the, I'm sorry, my English is kind of bad, the Crowley to enforce the littering policy. It's our desire for our store to be a safe place for ourselves and for our customers. And we are willing to work with the Crowley police to ensure that, and in the end, we asking for another opportunity to solve this situation and continue serving our customers. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Mr. Cord?
Thank you, Mayor. The Public Safety Committee convened Wednesday, December 7th, 2022 at 4 p.m. in the council chambers, and a quorum was present. Under action items, a motion was offered by myself and seconded by Alderwoman Kim Stringfellow to authorize the uninhabitable rule to show cause for code enforcement for property located at 313 Keller Street. The motion carried, and I so move.
Okay. Offered by Mr. Cord, seconded by Ms. Stringfellow. Discussion, and I want to remind, oh, yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. We did change the wording, it's changed to condemnation, is that,
Yes, it's on your packet.
so that's,
Rather than reading your committee minutes,
it
read your
will
packet
read,
and-
okay, it will read as
Go
what's on the
ahead.
packet.
go ahead, Mr. Cord, if you don't mind, open your agenda packet rather than your committee minutes.
Yes, sir.
And if you look at it, it's been reworded for the agenda this evening. Go ahead.
Okay, would you like me to?
Yes, sir, go ahead. You can read it.
To consider issuing a rule to show cause for condemnation for Lot 11 of Block 4 of Keller addition to the city of Crowley, bearing a municipal address of 313 Keller Street, Crowley, Louisiana, belonging to Charles Tedman Guidry, in care of Richard Guidry Jr., and setting a public hearing for the same. And I so move.
Offered by Mr. Cord,
Second.
seconded by Ms. Stringfellow. I just want a discussion. Mr. Crater.
So it says here that it's for repairs and or demolition to be made. So they'll have the option to repair it or get it torn down? Is that correct?
They're gonna have to attend the public hearing. All we're doing right now is setting a date for the public hearing. Well, this is for a public hearing. It's setting a public hearing for the same. I'm sorry, whatever that says, but the agenda and what we're doing right now is setting a date for the public hearing, which is January 11th. That is going to be the very first council meeting of the year. Okay? So y'all all have to put your dates down as January 11th. Okay? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
A motion was offered by myself and seconded by Alderman at large Stephen Primo to move to the consideration of the beer and liquor permits for 2022 and 2023 to the full council. And the motion carried. Under the 2022 permits, we received 4 applicants that went to committee and received a favorable recommendation for approval by the full council. And I so move to approve these 4 in global as written.
Second.
Offered by Mr. Cord. One that did not, you have it on there?
Oh, there was no.
You have on your agenda,
There's no spaces over
There's no space, but there are 4.
Oh, no, we got that one. That's the one that's gonna be coming up separately. So right now, all you're doing is voting on the one that you said in global. The one that didn't go to committee.
Well, for 2022.
Yes, sir.
There's
So-
no space.
Yeah. So anyway, offered by Mr. Cord, and who was it seconded by? I'm sorry. Mr. Crater. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Next, for the 2023, we have 10 applications that went to committee and received favorable recommendation for approval by the council. And I move to approve these in global as written.
Second.
Offered by Mr. Cord, seconded by Mr. Primo. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And then on your agenda, you have one that did not go to committee.
Yes, and finally, we have one application from Fat Boys Grocery for a 2023 permit that did not go to committee. This application was denied by the council during the November meeting, and it is my recommendation to table this request and refer it to the Public Safety Committee for consideration. And I so move.
Offered by Mr. Core,
Second.
seconded by Ms. Stringfellow, and there is no discussion because it is a table. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Thank you.
Under non-action items, Chief of Police Jimmy Broussard was not present to give his monthly report. Fire Chief Louis Romero was not present to give the monthly fire department report. Chief City Inspector Tony Duhon was present, but Alderman Brad Core read the inspector's monthly report. Discussion was had on the property located at 313 Keller Street. There was no further action to come before the Public Safety Committee, and the committee recessed.
Thank you, sir. Next is Public Buildings. Mr. Woolridge.
Public Buildings Committee convened Wednesday, December 7th, 2022 at 4 p.m. in the council chamber. There was a quorum. On the action item, there was none, and on the non-action item, there was none. There being no further business come before the Public Buildings Committee, we recess.
Thank you, sir. Next, Ms. Stringfellow, Insurance and Personnel.
Thank you, Mayor. The Insurance and Personnel Committee convened Wednesday, December 7th in the council chambers. We had a quorum. There were no action items nor non-action items. And there was no further business to come before Insurance and Personnel Committee, and the committee recessed.
Thank you. Next, Community and Economic Development Committee, Mr. Reggie.
Thank you. Community Economic Development Committee convened Wednesday, December 7th, 2022 at 4 p.m. in the council chambers. Quorum was present. Under action items, there were none. Under non-action items, Mr. Rich Hughes, representing the Rotary Club, discussed the city's involvement with a proposed Boys and Girls Club. There was no further business to come before Community and Economic Development Committee, and the committee recessed.
Thank you. Next is Revenue and Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Revenue and Finance Committee convened on Wednesday, December 7, 2022 at 4 p.m. in the council chambers. A quorum was present. There were no action items. Under non-action items, Dr. Izor Proctor has requested the inclusion of city's beautification club under the Community and Economic Development Committee, and Alderman Brad Core requested the inclusion of the Crowley Historic Committee under the Community and Economic Committee. There was no further business to come before the Revenue and Finance Committee. The committee then recessed.
Thank you. No resolutions. Engineers report, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much. I would like to make an announcement, please. Mr. Tony Duyo and I have met with some people, and in the past, that I have always told y'all that a lot of times we are asked to sign a confidentiality agreement. They have asked us not to say anything. I just want to let y'all know that we received this letter. I received a certified letter, actually 2 of them, and it's addressed to myself. And it says, "Dear Mr. Tim, this is from Olympia Development, LLC," and it says, "We are pleased to inform you of our proposal to develop, construct, and operate 80 affordable housing units to be located on Oddfellow Road, tailored for families with residents 55 and older, considered and defined as FHFOP, which is Housing for Older People. This community will include a community facility and supportive services available to all tenants. This total estimated development cost is $22.4 million. The next one is, we are pleased to inform you of our proposal to develop, construct, and operate 120 affordable housing units to be located on Oddfellows Road, tailored for families. This particular development is in the cost of $33.8 million. So you're looking at about right at $55 million worth of housing development that is coming to Crowley with, of course, all of the approvals, all of the inspections, and the third-party inspections of plans. And it's just great news for Crowley. Also, I would like to announce, about a month or two ago, we were talking about the ARPA money, the second tranche of the ARPA money. It's going to be spent, and I had said that months ago about spending that ARPA money on public safety, and we are, and the chief can vouch for that. We have purchased some materials. We're going to purchase other materials and E-Force computer, I forget the proper term for it.
Reporting system.
Reporting systems. However, we ordered some new tasers, we ordered some new body cameras and some dash cameras for the police department. And all these items are very expensive. On the other side of this, we also ordered 2 brand-new fire trucks for the fire department, and the contracts have already been signed. My next thing is I want to thank all of the council members for being involved in the progress of our city, and we appreciate all what you have done. And I look forward to the new council and the new mayor to continue that progress, and we really appreciate whatever you're going to do for our city. In the meantime, I thank you very much for allowing me to serve as your mayor, and I would ask the motion for adjournment. Ms. Stringfellow, seconded by Mr. Prater, adjourned.
Merry Christmas to you and the wife, sir. Enjoy it. Same here, sir. You enjoy.
I need to get with you before the end of the week. That guy texted me.
Oh, okay.
Again for E-Force.
Oh, yeah.
So I want him to soon, so I can sign the contract.
Got it, Mayor. Got it, Mayor. I will get with you tomorrow, because I'll be out Friday. Yeah. Yeah, I'll get with you tomorrow. All right, Mayor. Thank you. I'm sure.